Hello, my name is Wayne Hazel. I'm a writer, director, producer, but always screenwriter first. I was born in Jamaica, raised in New Jersey, and managed to get neither one of the two accents. I'm a computer nerd by day, but writing films is my absolute passion. I've been influenced by many genres in my life. I'm a big fan of the classics like Hitchcock movies. Watched a lot of the film noir classics that I loved, like Double Indemnity and The Maltese Falcon. And some of my favorite trilogies are the Indiana Jones trilogy, of course, Lord of the Rings. But I also love the Before series, it's called, with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. I'm a sucker for good love stories, for characters connecting and falling for each other. The bottom line of who I am, I want to make great, compelling stories with wonderful characters, and I want them to be more diverse and on screen. I know that I can bring a great level of storytelling to the Rising Storytellers project as well as to Gemstone Studios, and so I hope to be a part of that. My concept is a series called The Pen. It's an anthology series with this logline. Before and during a time of global crisis, a mysterious fountain pen makes its way through the lives of various owners in multicultural Los Angeles. Perhaps the closest thing to this series, there's a film called The Red Violin that came out some years ago with Samuel L. Jackson. It followed a mysterious violin over 4 centuries through the lives of different owners. And it was very interesting to see how the violin influenced different people and what became of them. This idea sort of came to me because I remember growing up as a kid in church, my dad would ask to borrow someone's pen, and he'd end up pocketing the pen, taking off with it, and then subsequently losing it after that. And I always thought, I wonder if that pen went on to the next person's life and got lost and went on to the next person's life and so on. My dad actually managed to do that a few times, and a couple of times people had really valuable pens that they loaned him and never saw again. So this idea has just always kind of been sticking in my head in a certain way. I've written the first 16 stories in this new series that I've thought of. I'm really excited about them, and the stories range from triumphant to tragic. The goal of each of my stories is to write and tell a short, compact story somewhere within 7 to 10 minutes, quickly introducing unique, compelling characters, raising a conflict, and then giving some kind of resolution, though hopefully never quite what you would expect. I was a big fan of the O. Henry stories growing up, and it might be a good comparison for some of the stories that I do. I had this idea long before this pandemic came up and our shutdown and some of our current events. Yet, as I revisited this passion project of mine, it was really impossible to ignore what's going on in the world today. So you'll see as the stories go along how it's affected by current events. Story number one, entitled The Last One, begins at Labor Day 2019, before the outbreak. A woman struggling with infertility tries to have hope one last time. Story 2, entitled Stay. A tough as nails businesswoman is threatened by an act of violence at her workplace and is forced to confront her own childhood trauma. In story number 3, Biolas, an abused woman must choose between reclaiming her life or forever staying in her horrible situation. In each situation, the pen is there either as a critical part of the story or bearing silent witness as someone is at a major crossroads in their life. I look at this series as a good excuse to tell great stories. I know the pen is extremely producible. I wrote it specifically with lower production values, that is, minimal sets, a limited number of characters. And so I know even with the new COVID rules and requirements we're going to have, it will be easy to get it made. My original plan was to film it myself with an iPhone. However, I would really love to be a part of this Rising Storytellers search and to be a part of Gemstone Studios, or at least to have my film made through Gemstone Studios. So I hope that that is possible, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you very much, Wayne Hazel.